We have here in the bottom right our Terran player from Canada. It's Gypsy. And in the bottom left, our Protoss player from Russia. It's Dewalt. So Dewalt right now leads 2-0. If he wins this game against Gypsy, it becomes very likely that he'll end up being our champion. You know, if you go out to an early 3-0 lead, no one's done that yet, just to be clear. The winner has been the last person to play in the previous 3 groups. So that win streak started a lot later, right? But with 3 wins on the board, that would be gigantic. So I think that this is an incredibly important game here for Gypsy. He's chosen Polypoid, which is a pretty comfortable map for Terran versus Protoss. Really nothing particularly wrong about the map in this matchup, right? There's nothing you look at and say, well, that's an imbalanced thing about Polypoid. It's a very good map, I think, for Terran versus Protoss on both sides. Now, I hope that Gypsy can get into that big macro Terran, that upgrade Terran that he showed us against Boneth. That seems to be his best and strongest style. And as far as Dewalt goes, it looks like we're going to be seeing a Nexus first. So, well, I guess that is, I was saying there's nothing wrong with Polypoid for this matchup, but truly there's something wrong with every map for this matchup because of Nexus first. He's going to go ahead and throw that down immediately, that Nexus. We'll see what type of Nexus first he does. And Gypsy's actually going for a gasless expand, and he's scouting Dewalt first. So this is... Okay, this is actually kind of a funny one. Dewalt's scouting the wrong direction. But he'll probably adjust when this comes in. He'll probably go to the bottom right. Gypsy sees that, so he won't make a second depot. He can just immediately go for the command center. And now, we talk a lot about what type of edge a Nexus first has against some other builds. But against a 1 depot gasless expand... Oh, no. Really? Really? Gypsy's gonna Marine Rush. I'm very surprised about this. Now, I actually literally talked about this in game 1. Oh, is he only gonna make 2? Okay, he's gonna make 2 in a command center. Or maybe not. Hold on. Okay, he is gonna do the rush. Now, this generally doesn't work. Okay, the pros in ASL try this sometimes. It has a terrible win rate for Terran. To try... Oh my god. He cancels. Well, I mean, I take it all back. This was fantastic by Gypsy. I don't think you can count on a cancel there. But he got the bunker started right away. Dewalt did not react heavily against that. And yeah, that's a big win there for Gypsy. That's a big win for Gypsy. Holy crap. This is not what I expected, guys, at all. Like, I've seen these types of positions a lot of times. And generally what happens is Protoss starts spamming Zealots. They'll go for like a second gate. Maybe he canceled it because he tried to get his gas quickly as well. But they also pull a bunch of probes and just like fight it like crazy, like surround the bunker and stuff. And that's at the pro level I'm talking about. It's happened a lot of times. Either way, Dewalt is behind here. Without any doubt, he has a disadvantage. Yeah, has to cancel that right away. Has 4 Marines up here now. So good. We're going to see if he can do some Maru micro here, where he gets the SCV to only build on one side. Nope, sorry, this is StarCraft 1 Terran, and you're not Flash. So, not going to happen. Gonna continue to try to bunker push this in. I mean, it would be so huge if he got a bunker down there. And he's targeting down the Zealots so quick. This is really interesting from Dewalt. He targeted down the SCV, but now the Marines are going to be able to get in the bunker. What? Okay, so, I mean, the amount that Gypsy's ahead here can't be understated. We might have a very, very fast game here. So, the Nexus is going to fall as long as he sends some SCVs. Yeah, see, he's sending 3. That's perfect. The Nexus always dies, basically, by the time they get enough goons out to kill a bunker that's being repaired by 4 SCVs. That's kind of the standard we see. But he forced to cancel. Ah, the run-by. The good old Dragoon run-by. Not a bad choice, honestly. Like, if you're going to lose this, you may as well. And also, by the way, I like that he's making the probes. Nice move there. You may as well produce out of it. But he's going into, like, Robo 2-gate with range. Back at home, Gypsy has his command center up. He started a second factory. Obviously, he's got to get his add-on and everything. Looks like he wants to go up this ramp. Oh, my God. Well, I mean, you've already done so much. Why not? The probe's going to come out. Targeting anything down at this point is a huge win. Honestly, I would have liked him leaving, like, 1 Marine, maybe. I don't know. Just something so that the Nexus can't be instantly made. Or shouldn't be instantly made. Back over here, Dewalt hitting that. Dewalt's down 9 workers. Gypsy has 2 bases and 2 factories against 2 gates. And I guess upcoming Reaver attack. Wow. The edge of Gypsy here is just gigantic. Just gigantic. Well, he's going to continue to pressure. You know, the siege tanks are going to be, like, a little bit slow. Maybe if he keeps the pressure on here, well, siege mode gets started. A Reaver has just started as well. So, yeah, oh, elevatoring the Dragoons. Okay, you have to take this really seriously. Like, you have to pull a lot of SCVs against this. And this is also going to tell Gypsy that the follow-up is going to be a Reaver as well. You'd never go just shuttle here. So, gonna bring up his siege tank. Those are going to get lifted out. But still, Dewalt's getting like a few SCVs. He's causing lost mining time. Dewalt's trying to come back here. He's trying to figure something out. It's just, it's such a tough position. Now, Gypsy does have that EBAP. Would love to see those turrets. Yeah, he has 1 here. Very good. Definitely going to want to see one like over here. There is a little area here a shell can fly through, and obviously this area as well. And yeah, that's an obvious turret. He knows about that, of course. Very, very important. The Nexus for Dewalt, almost done. Finally going to be clearing these empty bunkers. In comes the Reaver. Like, you can drop it here, get over the high ground, kill the turret, and come back and get it, but then you have, like, a yellow shuttle. So I'm not sure that he wants to do that. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like he does want to do that. Okay, let's see. Oh. Oh, he loses the shuttle. This is actually getting worse and worse for Gypsy. That was actually a good target there. Very good target. Just trying to keep the Reaver alive as long as possible. He'll get 1 hit on that and then die. And yeah, Dewalt in a terrible spot. So the game looks like it'll normalize here. Okay? But by normalize, I mean, well, not exactly normalize, but stabilize is actually what I mean. There's nothing normal about this game, but it should become somewhat stable. I don't think either player can kill each other right now. Gypsy seems like he begs to differ, but there should be another Reaver coming out, and it's hard to push against Reavers. You bring your Dragoons to the high ground and everything, and it gets really difficult. But looking at where we're at, Dewalt's down 13 workers right now. He's got 2 production facilities for, well, 2 gateways and then the Robo. Adding 2 more. Gypsy's going up to 4 facts right now. Like, complete control and domination from our Terran player right now. Definitely looks good for him. But the easiest way to lose his Terran is attacking when you should not attack. He might read this and say, you know what, I can attack here. Honestly, this setup doesn't do much for him since there's a shuttle out. But also, like, yeah, like I was mentioning, right? Like, even though his army is pretty good, pushing uphill against this stuff is not generally a great idea. Vultures spotting these Dragoons trying to run around. It's time to unsiege and go home. Yeah, he knows that. As soon as he sees the Dragoons trying to reposition, you know you got to get back. Probably time at this point for Gypsy to just secure a 3rd base location. Vulture's trying to get a bit of scouting done. No 3rd Nexus yet. And he is going to spot that. Ooh, laying some mines outside here. Oh, I wish he would have gone up the ramp. It would have been very good for him to get a full scout off. 4 Goliaths being made as well as range. So some very good anti-Reaver coming up. Dewalt gathering his Dragoons together. This does not look breakable to me at all, by the way. And yeah, Gypsy walking forward there. Losing the Marines is not the biggest deal. You know, he's getting the Goliath range, so it's whatever. You know, he's going to be able to block those shuttles one way or another. Dewalt coming back to get another Reaver. I mean, he does have his third up. Like, it's up before Gypsy's, right? Quicker as far as that goes. You know, maybe Gypsy could be kicking himself right now for not getting this maybe a little bit quicker. But it can sometimes be really hard to read that, right? You're in a game where your opponent is putting this pressure on you. You need the turrets. You can't really afford Academy at that point. I like that he just produced a lot of units. And honestly, when you look at it, Gypsy still has such a good position here. Like, there's really no danger to him at the moment. You can see he's even really defending pretty well against Reaver drops or anything like that. Anything that comes in is not coming out. Probe's going up to that third base. Probe heading out for another one. Looks like he was attempting. He was attempting to do something over here, but sees those turrets, decides better of it. No shuttle speed or anything like that as of yet. Gypsy adding more facts, so getting up to 7 facts. Very, very healthy on that. Ooh, almost sniped that shuttle. My God, can things get worse for Dewalt? Some good observers. We gotta definitely mention that. Like, that is... Look at how expert this observer is. Look, missile turret, missile turret, missile turret. He's in, like, the 1 pixel here that no missile turret can see him in. How crazy is that? He's watching everything from this location. What a brave observer. All right, this 4th base going up in the top left right now. Stargate in the natural. Ah, he's going to go into Arbiter from here. Yeah, kind of interesting. So he's playing it a bit different, right? Like, most of the time from Dewalt, we see speed shuttles, we see Reavers into Psystorm. Here he's gone Reaver from a failed Nexus first, which is very, very normal. And he's kind of just macroed into Dragoons, and, you know, he's starting to make a few Zealots here and there. Not really, actually not many yet. Really very Dragoon heavy instead. But either way, he's going into Arbiter next. So, ooh, this Vulture drop is like perfect, man. Right before the cannon. You know, going into the Arbiter, I can't say that that's a bad thing from here. Arbiters do give you some comeback potential and allow you to play like a more gateway heavy style if you don't feel like you can make any difference with Psystorms at a given moment. So Arbiter tech is done. The Vulture drop does get cleared up. But Dewalt right now, like, has a very good economy. 73 workers for Gypsy, which is a little bit probably over what you ever really want to get in this matchup. But I don't think it's something to worry about here. I don't foresee him losing because he has just a handful too many workers. Going over with his Goliath, he's going to be able to snipe this shuttle. But there's nothing in it right now. Another little Vulture drop going down. But Dewalt's probe count still very, very healthy. Some scans occurring while Gypsy tries to figure out exactly where this game is at right now. His own 4th command center going to be finishing up here just before 15 minutes. Very close as far as supplies go. EMP on the way for his vessels, although I don't think he actually has a vessel yet. The 2 Reavers actually getting some pretty good shots there. Ooh, not that shot on the Vulture. Does put some damage on the tanks. I mean, this army This Terran army obviously wins this. Obviously wins this. As long as you're careful with this attack. Ooh, that was an excellent... The Vultures actually pulled that Scarab back into the tanks. Now, if you like just keep taking and retaking arcs here as Dewalt, you can slow this push a lot. This does get a little bit difficult to like push over this way. And if you go too slow in this way, this army moves this way and can come down and attack up there. And then you have to back this army up to defend. So watch, that's probably what we'll end up seeing here. See, he has the observer here so he can send the Dragoons down to clear it. He's being very careful. The Reaver kind of guarding the high ground a little bit. Here comes that attack. Gypsy. See, I mean, you have to do it slowly, so we can't really blame him. But with the Zealots coming up and everything, the mine's mostly eaten. He does have to send units back. Brings back his Vultures to block the Zealots. Very good hold. Very, very good. Doesn't move the main bulk of his siege tanks. So he still has this very strong position that can't really be broken at the moment. The Dragoons continue to try to harass. He's just like really hurting Gypsy's multitasking. Right now, Gypsy desperately wants to push and win. Ooh, the Dark Templar comes in and gets 2 tank kills. Nice. Gypsy desperately just wants to take all his units and shove them in this direction. But the fact that Dewalt keeps hitting here and harassing here has slowed Gypsy down so much. And look at this. Even the one Reaver is really doing its part. If this Reaver wasn't here, Gypsy literally just attack moves. He might even do that anyways. But the Reaver will get more value if you do that. See, he kills 5 Vultures in 2 shots. So definitely a worthwhile Reaver there. Ends up with 19 kills before he goes down. The Arbiters are starting to pop out. Stasis not quite ready. Gonna start sending in the Dark Templars. 4th base up and mining here for Gypsy. Gonna go ahead, get an engineering bay right now. We have those Dragoons kind of poking down once again, seeing if they can clear some of these mines. Counterattacks can be a great way to fight back. And just kind of pushing forward. Okay, so Gypsy is basically taking the high ground. He has a ton of units over here. I think he's like kind of missing exactly where the army is. He knows that it's kind of out here. Doesn't know if it's here, here, here. He is starting to scan around looking for it. Down comes the attack. Dewalt getting ready maybe for a bit of a flank here. DT walking in, clearing some mines. Oh my god, here we go. A flank coming up from Dewalt. Is he going to be able to actually break through? A big stasis goes down to 4 of these siege tanks. Oh my god, he's going to break the push. Oh my god. Gypsy's push has been broken. That push will kill Protoss so many times. Dewalt, I tell you, it was really, I'm getting chills. It was some masterful play. Like the moves over here, the stalling in this area, the backing up, and then moving into an arc here and then coming down for the flank. Beautifully done. Gypsy has got to be kicking himself. This went from a game that it looked like he was just going to straight win to, honestly, at this point, I do think that, well, let's look at it. I got to look a little bit closer here. I think it's getting close to even. It's close to even right now, I think. Like maybe Gypsy still feels like he has a slight edge here. His upgrades 2-1, 3-2 have been started. I don't see a vessel right now. He has okay defense against recalls. Still has a good tank count. So like it's not like he's dead after everything he's done here. But man, like the fact that Dewalt has fought back after losing his first Nexus twice, a cancel and a kill, kind of crazy. Really shows to his tactical knowledge of what he needs to do. Arbiter coming out. 6th base on the way. Very slow game in terms of Protoss expansions. Right? He's been forced into that, but he shows that he knows how to play through a position like this as well, which is very impressive. Zealot trying so hard to drag mines into these tanks. My god. If there was like some mines in there, that would have been absolutely gross. Gypsy setting up more defense down here at 6 o'clock. Sieging up some tanks, throwing down some missile turrets. Dewalt right now just kind of roaming back and forth. He's picking off what he can. He's slowing what he can. Command center being built off location. This is just in case a Zealot runs up. If you have a Zealot as Dewalt, you click it like right around here. So you just might not see that command center being made. So try to get it up in location. You'll lay mines some, you know, in this general area and start mining. See, here comes that Zealot I was talking about. If you're building it here, it's canceled. In this case, it actually ran to the left maybe a little bit more than I thought it would. So Dewalt sees it. But the idea was good from Gypsy. All right, Dewalt coming in. Oh, he throws a stasis down. Not the most impressive stasis there. And honestly, this Terran army still beats this Protoss army as long as there's not another spell. Oh, but there's going to be more spells. Storm's coming out. Where are the rest of his units? He's got to bring these units up ASAP. Oh my god, Dewalt might break this army once again. Gypsy almost dealt with these Zealots. A couple Zealots left over. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, the mine does end up killing that. Only one siege tank remains, though. That definitely looked like an army that should have been able to beat what Dewalt had. Dewalt, though, with some great control. Those storms coming in very strongly. And Gypsy maybe a little bit slow on that reinforcement. Supplies are getting closer. Both of them in that 70 worker count. Gypsy desperately needs another base, and he is getting it. This is an important thing to remember. Once you have 3-2 upgrades, which Gypsy almost has, he's just about to have it, see? Once you have 3-2 with Terran, you need 2 mining bases. That's about it. Like, really, in this matchup, if you have 2 mining bases, you have 3-2 upgrades. 2 mining bases will allow you to produce out of your, like, 9 or 10 factories. Because you're not buying depots, you're not buying SCVs, you're not buying, generally not really buying missile turrets. You're just making units, right? You're not getting upgrades or anything anymore. So the 2 bases will basically fill your army up. So as long as he can keep 2 mining bases, he's definitely still doing a good enough job here. Some good, oh, excellent EMPs come out. Ridiculous EMPs, gets both of the Arbiters. Dewalt pulls back, tries to get a storm. Gypsy dodges. So that base is up, and that gives us 2 very healthy mining bases right now for Gypsy. His 3rd base almost done. Definitely needs to transfer those SCVs around. But here's the problem. Dewalt is doing such a good job. Dewalt, if we zoom way out here, you can see he's controlling this area super well, and he's occasionally moving in this area a little bit, right? Now, if Gypsy can't control this general area right here, like, he needs to split the map. I don't know that he can push for a kill anymore. I think he actually needs to split the map. And if he doesn't split the map, this base will end up falling. That is a really important thing to think about. If he loses his base, he loses the game. Which is a weird thing to go to from the position he's been in for most of it. Now Gypsy comes up. He knows exactly what he's supposed to be doing here. He knows that this is a key area. Picks off both the Arbiters. Very well done. Even worth losing the Science Vessels. Obviously, you don't want to. But if you can get rid of Arbiters, just reduce that Arbiter count. It's amazing. Now, if he can hold this area, obviously this area is his. And then you kind of hold this area. Well, you get all these bases. And if you split the map 50-50, generally that game goes to Terran. Not every time, but generally. All right, so pushing over right now. Lots of Zealots coming out to fight. There's actually not many Vultures here, unfortunately. Oh my god, Storms can wreck this. Oh my god, the Storms are insane. Gypsy right now, I gotta ask, not as a meme or anything, but was there a bit of overconfidence? You know, the way this game has gone so far, I definitely feel like this is a game, if I was playing, I would be like, yeah, no, I've got this 100%. I think that the whole time. But these Storms coming out, reducing that tank count. We don't have the Vulture rally coming in that well. It's getting a little bit rough. Like, Dewalt is taking cost-efficient trades really regularly against 3-2 mech. And look at this. Up comes some Zealot bombs on top of these tanks. The Zealots, 4 Zealots drop out. He's killed 3 tanks already with them. The other units come up, block for a Storm. More tanks falling. Even a Corsair here, which is kind of hilarious. No, he's not trying to be Bonnet. I think literally he got that just to kill Science Vessel with. Excuse me. But Dewalt has expanded here. Here. Hasn't been able to take this base yet. Too close to Gypsy. Gypsy's been on too high of a push potential for too long. Now, Look at this. This base has no defense other than 2 supply depots. And then this army doesn't have too much going for it. Like, it could be killed by Dewalt if he sends a lot of units there. Now, Gypsy is... I mean, the depots are a form of defense. They're like a pylon wall, but a lot worse. Like, you can just repair them and buy yourself time. He's sending up vultures. He's sending up siege tanks. Should be able to save the space, but he does lose some SCVs and some mining time. Gypsy having a little bit of a hard time transferring some of his workers as well. He is killing off this Nexus, which is important. All right, he's trapped these few goons here. New Nexus being taken from Dewalt. A little bit surprised that we haven't seen this group move. I feel like there was some sort of potential here to maybe snipe this Nexus. Maybe not. Maybe if he does that, that awakens Dewalt's units up here and he runs down and slams it. Maybe you're just waiting for these units to come up. I'm not sure. But he does kill 12 o'clock, so that's definitely something. He's saved this base. And Gypsy trying to get another command center down. This base is still pretty healthy. It's going to last a little bit longer, but it's getting lower, so he does need to think about that additional base. Don't forget, you need 2 mining bases here as Terran. Oh, misses the EMP on that Arbiter. Oh, the Stasis comes down. Well, the Stasis gets 3 tanks, but still this Terran army way too strong for this Protoss army. Backing up right now. Gypsy even getting that +3 armor upgrade for his mech units. Dewalt's production getting a bit better. He's still down in supply, by the way. This has been almost a never-ending part of this game, is that Dewalt just hasn't been able to get the same supply as Gypsy. Gypsy has just had more units. But so even though, like, we've had, you know, Dewalt take a lot of engagements that went surprisingly well for him, Gypsy has the units that it doesn't matter as much, right? Now, this is scary. This is actually getting a bit scary here for Gypsy. That's a lot of Zealots. Dewalt gonna push back. Comes down through the center. Some random siege tanks kind of left out here. The Zealots will get on top of them. A little bit sloppy here once again, but we'll pick those off. Backing up now. Storm's going down. Just putting out any damage he can. Targeting down on those science vessels. Gets one of them. We'll get a second as well. Sacrifices a few units there. My God, what a crazy game we have. Gypsy, by the way, 82 workers. 82 workers. This is like StarCraft 2 Zerg at this point. That's a hell of a lot of workers right there. That you're really getting up there at this point. Has some not mining here. This is super duper saturated. Definitely needs to transfer. Good saturation. Pretty good saturation. I'm not sure where his 82 are. It doesn't look or feel like over 80 workers right now to me. There must be more here than I realize. Shadows don't look that dark, though. All right, sending another big group up here to the top right. Just rotating his armor. Dewalt army, Dewalt coming in, and will have some Psy Storms. Loses that Arbiter very, very quickly. This game... Okay, so... Here's my kind of take. Dewalt has fought back from such a bad opener and taken so many good engagements. But I think Gypsy is getting very close to victory. The fact that he has these bases, like, this is a very important moment. We are about 15 seconds off from a recall. So a recall here and just busting this and slowing this down would be a huge, huge move from Dewalt. He needs moves like that. Because Gypsy has had, like, such a big army, such a big economy comparatively a lot of the time. Although I guess that's gone back and forth a little bit. That, you know, in these situations where, like, you haven't scaled up as Protoss, like, there's no carriers, right? There's no air upgrade, something like that. Something that can truly battle the maxed mech army. Oh, he is going to do the recall. Okay, some High Templars coming out in here as well. Throws a storm down onto the siege tanks. Splitting those Zealots up to clear as much as he can. Maybe not the most effective recall. I mean, he's killing a little bit. Yeah, he is killing a little bit. Gets the Science Vessel. He's got a decent amount of SCVs. Lost mining time as well. Dewalt is mining from these 3 bases as well as this one. Don't forget he did take this mineral-only base, normally taken at the beginning of the game. A lot later here for Dewalt. Yeah, at this point, it's like Dewalt is mostly on just Arbiter tech, right? A few High Templars here and there, but mostly Gateway units plus Arbiters. And it's like 1 Arbiter at a time. So I believe that's the case. 1. Yeah, there's only 1 Stargate. So, like, the Arbiter being the most dangerous unit in his army, he's just not having that many of them. Now, out comes... Ooh, that was actually a pretty solid stasis right there with this many Zealots. Gets in on top of these siege tanks. Clears them out very, very quickly indeed. Oh, God, this army absolutely can knock out 2 tanks up here at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Runs up, gets on top of them. The SCV is going to have to run. This is getting so annoying for Gypsy. You know, I was just saying a minute ago that, like, I feel like Gypsy's getting ready to win this game. But clearly not the case. Like, the fact that he's lost this base, this was still pretty healthy mineral-wise. It has a little over a third of what you start with at this base and a ton of gas. He's almost losing the command center. But also, this is like the central part between his 2 outposts. So if Dewalt gets a lot of units and he figures out if there's a unit imbalance, like too many or too few units at either base, like let's say that most of your supply is down here, you are able to bust up here and vice versa. That's if Dewalt gets maxed out. So this kind of army that's separating the 2 locations is really dangerous. You definitely, this is an area you generally keep Spider-Mind up in, like with a couple tanks, just to make sure run-ins like that don't occur. Now, Dewalt does go up, and he tries to get an attack off here, throws down some Psy Storms. It doesn't go well. Tons of tanks spread very nicely there for Gypsy. What else does Dewalt have going on? I like that he's still upgrading from the 1 forge, by the way. He's got 2, but he's just upgrading from 1 this whole time. 3-1 upgrades plus 2 on the way. Love seeing EMP here. And Dewalt taking, like, basically the last base of the map. I know this base hasn't been taken at all yet this game. But this is kind of like the base that, as far as Dewalt goes, what Gypsy would fight over. And then, for Dewalt, the thing is you want to kill these bases, but it gets so difficult at this point. Looking down at Gypsy's base here for add-ons. So we have, looks like 10 factories there in the main base and 1 starport. No factories elsewhere for Dewalt. We have 6 here. 9, 12, 15, 17 gates and a Stargate producing. So neither of them on, like, outrageous production amounts. Looks like we're going to have another recall going down. In this natural, he's going to blow up 3 tanks with the recall itself. Going to get on top of these SCVs as well. EMPs come in. Yeah, it doesn't look like he'll get that much done. Like, yeah, he gets the 3 tanks. Got a few Goliaths and stuff here, some SCVs as well. But honestly, killing the SCVs is not, like, the biggest deal. There's still plenty. And look at this, another attack. Realizing that we might be a little bit unit heavy down here at the Terran main base. But with these tanks set up, obviously the Dragoons have to run back. Can they actually remove everything on this high ground? Even that is a little bit of a win in a game like this. Like, you're getting rid of a comsat, you're getting rid of possibly a little bit of supply, possibly a command center that could be floated elsewhere if things start going haywire for Gypsy. Kind of an annoying moment. Gypsy going to try to trap these goons. Gonna get a few of them, but they will back out. The Arbiter actually finding a really great location to stay. That's gonna be really, really dangerous in a couple minutes, guys. In about 2 minutes, just under, he's going to have recall ability. So if the game is still somehow going on at 36 minutes, we'll definitely take a look over there. Oh, he flew it here into Goliath and it died. Okay. Well, never mind about that. Just an absolutely crazy macro game we're seeing here from these two. Might be hitting some sort of record here in Ascension as far as the longest game. Dewalt still has, like, kind of minimal mining there. He's like a Zerg, 1 per patch. Has this base up. Okay, out in this main. Minimal mining. Very, very good healthy mining here. That's good, because that one's the most likely one to die, I would say. We'll see if Gypsy tries any pushes, because at this point, look at these supplies, right? So workers are close enough, but he's down about 20... He's about 30 army supply down, truth. Okay? So if Gypsy's down 30 army supply, not maxed, and he tries to attack and loses his army one time, I actually think Dewalt just wins right then. Oh god, hallucination. Hallucination, oh my god. So he's gonna send a couple arbiters down here. Now, if you're watching from StarCraft 2, even when you scan, you don't see that they're hallucinations. The only way you can tell is when they take, well, if they get hit by a spell, they disappear. But when they take double damage, that's the only way you can tell. It never shows otherwise. So here we go. Flies in. Gets the recall off. Beautifully done here from Dewalt. Zealots and Dragoons all over that top right main base. Force a lift, getting rid of a lot of these units. A lot of SCVs starting to die as well. We'll see if that actually impacts Gypsy at this point. Had so many workers earlier on. Man, there's just so many tanks here. A bit of a meat grinder to walk into. But look at the flanking attack coming up. He has a few units up here still, so you still need to send some to high ground. But we have a lot of Psystorm, and these are Clemp tanks. Oh, that EMP was just beautiful. He saved himself from at least 2 Psystorms there, maybe more with a single EMP. And now suddenly Gypsy's supply not looking so good. 51 workers remain, having a harder time with his mining. Some workers, very good. Obviously needs to get this back. He needs to get into a very defensive position right now if he wants to win this game. A roaming army, I like this. He's got some units in the middle like we talked about before. Oh god, didn't have any detection there. Does the scan, but the Zealots getting on top of everything is a huge issue. Dewalt running over, trying to get rid of 3 o'clock once again. He's broken through that central area, which can be so annoying. Has EMP just about ready on this very red vessel. Oh god, is he really going to recall the main base? 37 minutes in. Gets on top of just a single mine there. Another one drags in. Great storms on those tanks. Coming up this ramp. Obviously, Gypsy will be able to clear this. He's not going to lose the game to this right here. We're going to have to check what Dewalt has left as far as mining, because, like, he does have some bank here. It seems like he's kind of thinking right now about the way he wants to go about with the rest of this game, right? Like, has a little bit of a bank. Okay, now he's starting to really queue up some units. That 2K, if he could translate that into army immediately, I feel like he could win the game. Like if we could just suddenly warp in like StarCraft 2, all that army right here, man, that would be it for Gypsy probably. But he does have time to get his army up here, bringing it up now. All right, some nice sieges, spreading those sieges as well. Zealot's trying to run in, some decent storms. Ooh, an EMP goes out, but the second storm gets off before it hits. Another Arbiter comes up. Right now, Gypsy just looking for that money EMP. Doesn't want Storm to hit him. A Storm right around here would be absolutely deadly. A tank taking a ton of damage. Clearing some of the very small Vulture count. It's one thing to mention. Gypsy hasn't had a big bank of minerals in quite some time. I guess he lost his command center? Gotta float this one over there. My god. Very painful long distance mining. But he's a little bit lighter on vultures than you're used to in this matchup. So definitely needs to utilize spells. He isn't laying as many mines in front of his army. Can be hard because Dewalt's like kind of zoning right on the edges of where those tanks are. Finally gonna lay a few mines down. well, oh, this is funny. Like a single zealot goes in and kills this whole base. It's not really impactful. You know, a couple missile turrets, maybe gets a depot or something. Who cares? But right now, okay, so it seems like Gypsy has stabilized everything. There was a moment there where he was so under attack, it did get a little bit nerve-wracking. But he's getting up to that supply with his 3-3 that you don't really expect anything too bad to happen. Does hit the EMP, very importantly, on this Arbiter. So that recall not going to go off. Hopefully he can kill this off with the incoming Goliath. Excuse me. Yeah, he is making some there. Brought a lot of his army down, but is going to bring that back now. Now, I don't know. I like, this game has been so back and forth. It's had so many crazy moments. And Dewalt has a giant bank. But look at the minerals. Huge minerals. Very good. Okay, just about empty. Not yet mined. Okay, on Dewalt's side, well, that's decent. Low. Gone. Gone. Good. So Dewalt, like, he has a big bank, but it's not going to stay around. Right? Like, you see this big army? He can only make 50 more zealots, right? It's not as much as you would think how much he has left in him. And so if Gypsy can just kind of weather the storm, and he's doing it right too, he's rotating back and forth, but he's actually out of position. Most of his army's here, Dewalt's whole army's up here. Now, Gypsy needs to block him from getting up here. I think you need to actually bring your SCVs in front just in case he runs up that way. EMP going down. Excuse me. Zealot's starting to run up the ramp. This part's scary. This part is scary. If he loses these siege tanks up here, it's real trouble. All right, Storm's blocking the incoming units. Gypsy just slightly out of position there. He may end up paying for it. Not really blocking anything at the ramp. Some D-matrices are going down, and they are fantastic. But the siege tanks are getting whittled down. Storm's all over what Gypsy has coming up for reinforcements. Oh my god, Gypsy in some real trouble if he loses these bases, guys. He's got to bring the rest of his army up here immediately, but this may trigger an attack from Dewalt at the bottom right. He's gonna have to decide, like, can I go up and kill the rest of the army that came up here to clear my army? Or do I attack elsewhere because the whole army has been brought? So comes up, tries to siege a little bit. Few tanks here and there, drilling his SCVs down. Trying to keep some of them alive. He is getting very low on those. Oh my god, the Zealot flank coming in. Oh, this could be just about it. Does he have another side storm? No, not there. The Zealots, though, getting on top of the siege tanks. Gypsy's bank just about gone. His mining only exists in this part of the map. And this could be a heartbreaking loss coming in right now for Dewalt. And that's going to be it. Oh my god, an epic game. An unbelievable comeback from Dewalt. Unbelievable comeback. That was Gypsy favored for the majority of that game. And I'm sure after that one, Gypsy is kicking himself because he really... I'm sure that if they replayed that game several times, Gypsy would win most of them. But Dewalt, when it mattered, came out on top, fought back in, what was that? 43 minutes. 43 minutes. Let's take a look at the scoreboard.